Hello everybody, this is Kay. Thank you so much for joining me today here on my channel, Gigi's Paper Treasures. I have a quick flip through video for you of this journal that I just finished. It is kind of just an eclectic, some sort of grungy journal. And I'm just going to show you real quick. It's just a one signature journal. It's pretty chunky though. I've got kind of a canvas, somewhat flexible spine here. I did add some beads and some cording to the spine. I don't know if you can see, I've got these black wooden beads, and then I've got some glass kind of green, black, and gold beads in between, and then twisted around the whole thing I have this kind of gold cording, and that's just part of the sewing in of the signatures. I added the beads as I was sewing in the signature, and then I did the cording afterwards. I've actually got the cording sewn on to the spine as well to hold it in place. And then I've just got a piece of cord here attached to the spine as well for the closure. The cover here is just a card that I had done some mixed media work on, and I've got kind of a collage here of some bird houses and a little bird and some gold kind of brocade trim behind. And then this piece up here are actually a couple of little doilies that I crocheted with a heart bronze brad in the middle, and then I just added a little bulb pin with a musical notes charm on there, and it's got trim on the side of the cover here. So I think that explains the cover. And then I have a pocket on the inside of the front cover. This is my little note that I like to put into all my journals that I'm selling. I've got a little junk mail envelope piece here. That's a pocket with a extra little journaling spot added into there. And I also turned this into a pocket, which I've added a couple of other little pieces to as well. This is just a bookmark, and this is a piece of lined craft paper that I tucked into there. Okay, so this green piece back here is one of those hanging file folders that I turned into the first page of my signature, and I actually made it into a pocket page. I have a little journaling card here. I've included coffee dyed papers, as well as other types of paper you'll see as I go through. I clipped this one together because it kind of opens up, and then I've got a pocket here. This is some book page I had left over from a Sherlock Holmes book that I disassembled to use to make ephemera. I've got a couple of little pieces and journaling spots in this little pocket. And those were kind of sliding out, so that's why I decided to add my giant paper clip here. And then I collaged this side of this page with some Tim Holtz collaging papers, and in the background I have some other things underneath that, just to kind of give that page some interest. This is a book page that I printed on parchment paper here. I've added a library card to this piece, which has some napkin decoupaged onto it, and then I just added a little sticker and did some markings with some of my acrylic markers. This is a magazine image. This is a piece of lined kind of children's manuscript paper, which I kind of grunged it up with a mixture that I made of some coffee and some glue, and I actually added some of the coffee grounds in there too. I just wanted to kind of make a grungy paper out of that. And this is some tea-dyed paper, and I've put some trim on some of the pages throughout. This is a little side pocket page here with a little journaling spot added there. This is just some trim and a button and some thread that I made a little bow out of, tucked into this pocket here. I did another book page that I sent through, that I cut down and sent through the printer and printed some butterfly digital on too. I've got an envelope here attached to this side of this paper as kind of a flip out, and I've got something in the envelope. This is kind of a little pocket piece I made out of a book page, and I've got a journaling card tucked in there, and it's got a side pocket as well that I have one of my little mixed media pieces tucked into, and that's in that envelope. And this is the flap of the envelope, which I made into another side pocket. So I have one of my little scrappy notepads and another little journaling spot tucked into that. More printed on book page. This was a picture from a book that I cut out, and I just kind of turned it into a little flippy element in the book. Another one of those grungy pages. Another tea-dyed page with some trim and ribbon throughout the trim. A music page that flips out like this. That's it. I was thinking I made that into a pocket, but I didn't. This is another image from the Sherlock Holmes book. On the back here, I've adhered one of my handmade paper bags. I left the side open here as a tuck spot, and I've got a little vintagey postcard tucked into there, and another little journaling spot tucked into the paper bag. This is magazine page that I kind of grunged up. This is the middle of the signature, and it's one of those kind of pages that I made out of junk mail envelopes. I actually have a video on that. I will link that below, but I put a pocket on the front here, as well as it has the side pocket with the window. I got that tucked into there. On the inside, same thing. I have a pocket, and this is just a little, kind of another little tag pocket with a tag in it tucked into that pocket. And the big side pocket here. On this page, I have another envelope, but I've just got this one clipped on, not permanently attached, and a couple of little journaling spots tucked into that envelope with one of my little gold paper clips. This is a pocket page I made with some book page and some sheer fabric. I think it was actually a scarf at one time. I don't know if you can, how well that's picking up, but that's some fabric. It adds some lovely texture to that page. And then in here, and you can see I've got lace wrapped around that back part of that pocket as well. And I've just got a couple of tags and another little tea-dyed piece of lined paper tucked into that. Trim on that page, and so we're in the back half of the signature now. This is the other half of that little image I cut out from the book. That's parchment paper. And on this page, I've done a series of little mini envelopes, and I've got a little something tucked in to each of the envelopes. show you that real quick. Just little journaling spots that I have like pre-made and in my stash. This is a little kind of open. I think I made this out of index card. Just kind of flips out like that. Tucked into that pocket. I like to have all kinds and all sizes of ephemera pre-made for when I finish journals and I just kind of want to flip through them and fill up the pockets. Then I have all kinds of stuff ready. I've done a belly band here with some scrapbook paper, some more of that same trim I used on the cover, and a lovely image of an eagle with some stitching around. And then to tuck into that, I just made this little notepad. This was some of my handmade paper, and I just put some fussy cut die cuts on the front and sewed those in, and I put a couple of little charms and bead items on the spine when I sewed it in, but I put it in like this because I wanted the beads to hang on the outside, and so that I kind of put it in backwards underneath this belly band so that those would hang out the side. The other half of one of those pieces of grungy paper, magazine image, and I just did a corner pocket here where I tucked in this little doohickey, which is a tag, but it's got a flip out kind of pocket, flip here with another little pocket and tag on the inside, and I just hold that closed with a little paper clip and tucked into that pocket. And we're getting close to the end. This is the last page. I've got a little devotional page here which I put in this back pocket, and then a laminated kind of a wildflower. I sometimes when I'm walking, I pick these by the side of the road, just wildflowers, and I bring them home and laminate them. And I just added a few little embellishments to this pocket. And then on inside the back cover, I have a large side pocket with a couple more little pieces tucked in back there. And that's it for this flip through. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in hopping over to my Etsy shop and looking at this, I will link that below in the description box. Have a blessed day.